They will look for everything. We just read an article. Kelly and I were reading an article, that a big New York Times article about how developed countries are starting to have negative population growth and how we're going to have this population shrink, this aging population. And it spent a lot of the time blaming women for not having, like, basically it was like, what are the reasons why the population could be declining? Well, it definitely has to do with women entering the workforce, and women are choosing not to have babies. And it's just like, they mention not being able to afford it in literally the last paragraph of the entire article.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, maybe.
It seems like you're burying the headline a little bit.
And also, like, the stuff about that came up in it was just like, like, maybe we should have a discussion about whether people are so underpaid, like the fact that childcare isn't considered labor and isn't paid as such. Like, if people really valued children, pay people to raise children, like, treat childcare work as work. And then we can have a discussion like, maybe you don't need to both parents to both be going out and working at a job to make money if we could get a situation where we're more equality. But maybe we shouldn't assume that that's going to be women who don't take the career opportunities. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's so, I can't believe, I mean, like, it's like, I can't believe the New York Times had a bad take. It's like, okay, sure, it's the New York Times now. That's like,
Yeah.
having a good take is more of a surprise. Is
That's
population declining even a bad thing? The downside of it is that we're going to end up in a situation where there's going to be way more people taking pensions than putting money into pensions. And so you're going to have a situation where an old population will basically just drain all of the like the stuff, money set aside, because like a lot of our pension organizations are designed so that we have a wider base of people paying into pension programs, and then the older people are taking from the pension programs. And if that gets reversed, then you have a lot of issues.
like, who is going to basically take care of them?
Yeah. So that's, and yeah, and then also, yeah, labor shortages also can be an issue, especially if you're not willing to pay people more for their labor, like, as we saw in the last, like, 2 weeks of discourse.
I'm also just thinking about like the idea of pensions, because I'm like, have you met anyone our age who is like actually thinking that they'll have a pension?
No.
Because everyone's just like, pensions? Not sure about that one.
It's based on the assumption that there will always be more young people than old people, which is like very soon not going to be a thing, because it's not a thing our society's gone through before, really. So,
Well, Japan is thankfully going through it a bit quicker than we are, so we have like a vision of the future. But then again, also Japan also has like well operating high speed rail, so maybe maybe their current scenario is actually the best possible scenario to have.
I will definitely incentivize a lot more like automation of the workforce, and I mean, I and sustaining like things, but like it does also put a fucking stake in the heart of anybody who says that overpopulation is even close to being a problem in our society, in our world.
Yeah.
It did show some other interesting things about the future of the future of this century, demographics wise, that is going to be. I'm interested to see what kind of stuff happens. Like the idea that they said that by 2100 China's going to have a population of 700 million people is like, oh my goodness, that's very small. But also the sort of under-acknowledged thing that Nigeria is going through a massive population boom, and that
Yeah.
like West Africa is going to be like this like really hopping economic center in the coming decades, because it's just like it's going through a lot of like financialization, industrialization, and it's really like economically like growing a lot, and Nigeria is turning into like the center of it. So
Yeah, Nigeria is not only is having a population boom, but it has had it for like a couple of years now. If you want to look at like Isn't it something that's like South Africa and Nigeria is like half of all Africa's population, including Egypt, which is like huge also.
I did
It's
not
it's
hear that.
something it's something incredible like that. Like Nigeria, the Nigerian population is popping.
Yeah, which also will show itself in other ways. Like I don't know if you follow the music scene, especially like the hip hop scene, but the music scene in general, like Nigerian music is starting to become more popular these days, and yeah, expect to see more cool West African culture